I'm Tony Ruiz of Gold Derby here with Ryan Destiny, who stars as the great Claressa Shields in The Fire Inside. And Ryan, the journey to this film actually getting made was so long, and there was like in many ways kind of mirrors the fight uh, that Claressa goes through in terms of getting knocked down and having to get back up. Does that make the reception to the film and the fact that it's here now all the more sweet?
Definitely. It was such a journey, like you just said, and I have to say it again because that's exactly what it was. It took so many, different twists and turns. So to finally be at this sort of finish line feels so great. And I'm just very grateful and thankful to finally be at this point.
Yeah, there's so much. I'm a high school teacher in my normal 9 to 5 job. And so, one of the things that I found so fascinating about your performance is that you're playing her both as this boxer, but always at the forefront. We have to remember this is a teenager when we first meet her. And so I'm curious as to how you were able to straddle those, both the boxing world and the fact that this is a teenager.
Yeah, I think it was just understanding the importance of that and understanding that there are so many different parts of her and who she is. A lot of people, if you know her, you see her as this very confident, ready to fight all the time, ferocious type of person, but there's so many different parts to her. She is very kind, she is vulnerable, she, loves her family, loves her community. So it was important to be able to capture those moments and also the buildup of it. She doesn't start out this like completely confident in herself type of boxer. There were moments that grew her into that, as well as the relationship with her coach Jason, who was one of the first people to believe in her and make her believe in herself. So those little vulnerable moments were really fun for me and some of my favorite parts. So people could have a better understanding of who she is and how she started and how she got to where she is today.
Well, it's funny because there are moments in the film where, she just has this intensity and this, feelings that are right there all on her face that I feel like you, as somebody who's surrounded by teenagers on a daily basis, you can only, when you've got that right. And so kudos to you for capturing that so perfectly.
Thank you so much.
So, going back to the beginning, do you think that the fact that it was such a journey to get this film made, and the fact that there was such a fighting spirit in getting this film made, um, do you think that did you bring kind of did those emotions kind of come in as you were playing her?
I think so, for sure. Especially the second go round. I was always very grateful for the opportunity. I knew how special the story was, and I knew how rare an opportunity like this was from the get-go. But having it go through what it did and it almost not happening anymore definitely switched my mindset, I think, completely and just made me want to dive in even deeper and go even harder, train harder, whatever I need to do times 10, and just make sure that I do it right. And just went into it, I think, with a a more open spirit too. I was ready to like strip down all the makeup and have me look crazy and all of that and didn't care anymore. It was something that was freeing almost for me. So I think it definitely played a big part into me executing it the second go around. And I think it was a better movie for it, to be honest.
I was reading about the training that you went through to do this, and I'm just curious because this character does have to go through such emotional
Mhm.
uh, punishment as well as the physical punishment, and I'm curious just from an acting perspective, was one of those more challenging than the other?
Mm. I I think it was me trying to make sure I could execute that athlete mindset. And then you put on another layer of it being herself. And she is a boxer who is one of a kind, and she literally is the greatest woman. So, me making sure that I could pull that off and pull off the energy of having that sort of confidence, because I don't have that confidence in real life. That's for sure. I think she is a superhuman, and she literally really has the key to life and how you should treat yourself. And I just wanted to make sure that I could do that, to the best of my ability. So I think that that was very challenging for me, aside from the physical, which was also a lot. But it was the mental that really, got me, and I wanted to make sure I got it right.
The caliber of the folks behind this movie. You have Rachel, and you have Barry, and you have Brian. When you're going into an atmosphere like that, does that become intimidating, or does that give you more confidence?
It was more intimidating for me, and I think because I was such a fan of all of them, and I guess knowing what they've accomplished and knowing what they've done and how great they are, I think it just is a little scary, and you want to make sure you show up because you know that they will. So you just want to, impress them, or not make them regret being a part of this or casting you. So yeah, it was a little intimidating, but they really, really came in and treated me like an equal, and didn't make me feel, inferior or make me feel less than. They really just saw me, eye to eye, and let me really have that safe space to play and to fail, and to do whatever I needed to do, and support me in whatever I needed to do. So they were really, really great. And I definitely don't feel that way anymore. I don't feel intimidated around them. They're literally like family to me now. So it's really cool.
Well, and it's interesting you say that. The family aspect of this is such a huge part of this film, both in Ressa's own family and in the family that she makes with Jason. That's also a family dynamic, and I'm curious as to when you're tackling subject matter like this. Claressa Shields had a not an easy childhood, not an easy growing up.
Yeah.
How do you keep is the atmosphere light on set? Are you able to, when it says cut, to able just kind of step back and have a couple of laughs?
Yeah, that was definitely me and Brian's dynamic for sure. We are two silly, goofy people, and I think it it called for a really nice balance, and I'm really thankful for that. And to be able to go to these dark, deeper places that you needed to go to, and then, as soon as they say cut, we're just back to our normal, goofy selves, was really, really great. And to be kind of the same. It wasn't like a conversation that we had. We just naturally, I think that's how we both perform our best, being in an environment like that. So yeah, it was cool to be able to switch it on and off when we needed to.
So, with the film kind of out at this point, and the acclaim and the award from the Critics' Choice, are you able to how are you able to kind of take it all in? Are you making room for yourself to take all of that in?
I'm definitely trying to. It's kind of new territory for me, so I'm taking it day by day. I'm trying to make sure I'm present, and just appreciating all of this. I'm someone that I guess isn't the greatest with taking compliments, and isn't the greatest with receiving attention in this way, but I'm just trying to do the opposite of what I normally do, and just really take it in, and appreciate the compliment, and understand that I have worked really hard, and it's okay to say that. It's okay to appreciate what you have done and be proud of what you've done. So yeah, I'm trying to be in the moment, because I really am really thankful for it all. So
Have you taken some of has some of Claressa's strength and personality kind of grafted itself onto you?
It definitely has, and I'm so happy that it did. I think she is someone who um came into my life in for more ways than one, I think. This was obviously a project that a lot of people would love to be a part of, and it's something that is very special. And you want to be in a movie and, go to the theaters and all of these things. But just looking back at it and just stepping back for a moment and looking at the bigger picture, she was someone that I think really needed to come into my life when she did, and inspire me the way that she did. And because I had to truly step into her shoes, I kind of know what it feels like to have this newfound confidence in yourself. And I think that I really do have a new trust for myself as well, and can listen to my instincts even more, and have a bit more confidence than when I started. And things like that, I think I've taken away from her a little bit. And hopefully as time goes on, it can grow even more into that. I'd love to just, suck up her whole personality and just like have it stay on me completely. It'd be great. But yeah, it's definitely stayed in me a little bit.
Well, and it's interesting that you say that because I had read that, you two really didn't get to meet during the filming, that you really didn't meet until after. Was it actually seeing it when you met her the first time?
Yeah, she saw it for the first time and met me literally the next day. It was insane. And I was nervous because I wanted her to really love it. So if she didn't love it, she was going to tell me. And it just would have been really awkward if she hated it completely. But it was the complete opposite. She cried and absolutely loved the boxing. And that was just a dream for me. That's all the validation that I needed.
Did not meeting her until afterwards, do you think that in any way kind of helped you kind of put your own spin on the character that you were playing without the pressure of having to incorporate elements of her?
Yeah, I think it definitely took the pressure off a little bit. I already had a lot of pressure on me for different reasons because no matter how close or how far she was, I felt like her eyes were still on me in some way. And yeah, so I definitely wanted to make sure I was honoring her and was, you know, getting as much information I could from her, but also knowing that space was good. And, maybe us not meeting was supposed to happen that way because it really allowed me to get a lot more comfortable in her without feeling like someone was like breathing down my neck, like making sure that I was doing everything right. It just gave me a lot more freedom and space, to be able to execute it how I needed to.
Well, Ryan, congratulations. It's such an astonishing film on all levels, and I really appreciate your time today. Everybody, go to goldderby.com. You make your predictions for the upcoming award season, and stay tuned for interviews with more contenders in the coming weeks. Ryan Destiny, a really great pleasure to talk to you. Thank you.
So much. It was so nice to talk to you and meet you.